Brian here. Most men are told to fake it till they make it. Pretend to be confident. Put on a fake smile. And if you pretend hard enough and do enough affirmations and believe it enough, one day you will become confident. And what if that couldn't be further from the truth? Well, in today's video, I'm going to talk about why that is and why faking it till you make it actually makes you worse with women, and what you can do about it, and what real confidence is built on. What really works. Let's get started. But before I do, I want to welcome you to CalCon Turkey. We are setting up a production studio here. We rented this place, me and a few friends, and we're going to be producing all kinds of content for the new YouTube channel, at Brian Bajan on YouTube. Definitely check that out. Subscribe if you haven't. And I'm going to be creating content for the new membership site. So the new membership site is going to be going live by the 1st. And we're going to be pre-selling it coming up within the month, probably in a couple weeks actually. So get to brianbajan.com and get on the mailing list if you want to learn about that. No further ado, let's get started. So to get started, I want to talk about why this matters. I want to share a story with you. You see, I had a mentor. His name was Carl. And Carl pointed out to me when he first met me, he said, "Brian, you're so in your head, you're above your head." And this really had an effect on me, because what he was basically pointing out, and he explained to me, was that, "Brian, you're having trouble changing," because that's what I was telling him, was that nothing ever worked on me. No personal growth ever worked. Nothing ever helped me to make the shift I needed to make. And he said, the reason you're not changing is because you're so disconnected from your body that you can't feel the change. You can't embody the change. All change is an embodiment process. All the emotions, the feelings, the sensations you don't want to feel are stored in this body. And it had a huge impact on me when he said it. I realized, wow, if I'm this in my head, because he showed it to me on video, he showed me the disconnection, then how many other areas of my life is it affecting? Now, as soon as I got started in his courses, and I was in his classes, and I was sharing, and every week I would share a little more, and he was constantly giving me that same feedback. "Brian, you're in your head. Brian, you're sharing analytically. Brian, you're in the future. Brian, you're just talking about the past again." And I wasn't speaking from presence, but I really didn't understand what that meant. What he did to me was very interesting. He finally kind of got tired of me sharing this way. And at one point while I was in class and I'd go to share again, he'd say, "Brian, shut up, you're in your head." And this was kind of frustrating, but I'd try again. He'd say, "Brian, shut up, you're in your head." And this went on for several weeks. And then I remember several weeks in, I got really mad. And I reached this point where I was like, well, screw it, I'm not going to share anymore. I'll just sit here and I'll just learn. And there was a couple weeks of that, and he finally looked at me and said, "Brian, if you don't share, I'm going to kick you out of class." And this really pissed me off. It kind of made me angry, but I knew I needed to share because I wanted to be in the class. I wanted to figure this out really bad. So I raised my hand, I started to share again, and he said, "Brian, you're in your head, shut up." And again, I got pissed. And this is something that went on for a little while. I was feeling like I was being backed into a corner. I didn't understand what was going on here, but I knew, or I intuitively felt he had some answer, and there was a reason for all this. Yes, I thought about quitting, but I just kept going. And as I was going through his intensive, his deeper program, again, we were reaching this point where he was constantly showing me I was in my head, and he had me lead something. He had me get in front of the group and take the lead. And I was really scared, really nervous. And I went up there to take the lead, but I was kind of meek. I pulled inside. And I remember him looking at me and he said, "Brian, if you don't show up, I'm going to kick you out of the class and you're not going to get a refund." And immediately and he yelled it actually. He wasn't nice about it. The way he said it was really biting. I can't remember the exact words, but it had an impact on me. It was like a dagger hitting me. And I remember turning like really red, getting really angry. There was this flushing through my body, and I looked at him. And he said, "Oh, look, Brian finally showed up. Brian's finally in feeling." And the feeling came because I surrendered all that thinking because of all the anger, because of all the emotion. And I remember everybody else in class said the same thing. "Oh, look, Brian's in feeling. Brian's in feeling." Only worked to piss me off more, but that was probably a good thing. That was me starting to feel, starting to let up all these repressed emotions that I was holding inside through the anger. Now, I continued on in the class, I got through it, and by the end of the class, I was probably one of the people in more feeling than anybody else. Something about that moment had a pivotal switch on my life. It shifted everything. And my whole life became about this work after that. Now, you could say that was a brutal process, a hard way to do it. Isn't there an easier way? And the truth is there is. I've spent my life's work since working with Carl, God rest his soul, learning to make this process go faster and easier. You know, it was rough back then. We were kind of hard on each other to get the results. My goal was to figure out how to get you to change 10 times, 100 times faster than I did. So the principles I'm going to share in here really break down and distill the basics of what it is to be in your body and why it's so important. Because I find that when somebody really understands what's really going on in the body, why this is so important, they get motivated, they get excited. I'm all about these subtleties. And I find that the transition can be easier and easier. So I look forward to sharing this information with you today. I look forward to getting started, and definitely put a comment at the end of the video. Whatever you realize, whatever you learn, it helps us all to grow. So I look forward to seeing those comments. So I figured I'd take you for a walk for this next part. So why does it matter? Because real confidence doesn't come from your head. It comes from embodiment. It comes from feeling. It comes from understanding what feeling really is. You see, a lot of men think that real confidence is about walling off their emotions and learning to project this aura of confidence and not letting anybody feel their vulnerability. But that couldn't be further from the truth. Like I said a moment ago, it is about embodiment. As you learn to feel more and you begin to understand the principles I'm going to teach you in this video and why it's important to feel all these parts of your body, you're going to begin to understand why faking it till you make it has never worked before. Why it actually makes you worse, actually pushes women away. And you're going to also begin to understand that as you get better at this, not only are you going to get better with women, but you're going to get better with life. You're going to get more confident in sales. You're going to get better with family members and friends. This has been probably one of the most life-changing principles I've ever learned. It's changed every part of my life. It's even made me way more money. So it's the reason I travel the world. I live the life I live. And I get to enjoy the beautiful places that I go to all around the world that you see in my videos. So why does fake confidence always fail? Well, it's simple. Because when you are faking confidence, you're primarily in your head. You're tightening right here where we would call it the prefrontal cortex area. It feels like a tightening to me. And when I tighten there, the next thing that happens is I pull all the energy out of my throat. I don't have any more emotional expression. I don't have the ability to speak with feeling in my voice, which kills your manifestations, by the way. If you want to speak with confidence and speak truth into being, this is huge. The next part is it walls off your heart, your ability to feel emotions, your ability to relate to other people. So then it numbs out your stomach. That's where your confidence comes from. That's the second brain. We'll get more into that in a bit. And then it also tightens up your hips, which is your creative energy. It's your ability to feel your creative turn on as a man and to put that into the world, or to inject that into the world. So basically, she gets to know somebody that's talking from the neck up, that has no relationship to the vehicle that he was given to live life with. And that's what I want to help you change. So let's take this principle of these different parts of the body, the centers that often line up with the chakras, but look at them a little bit through the lens of science. And if you want me to go deeper into this principle and have a real deep video on the science of this, I can do that later. So let's talk first about the throat. I got some notes here. But when the throat collapses, your words lose vibration, your jaw locks. You ever have, do you have any issues with your jaw tight, grinding at night, tight jaw, that type of stuff? Your voice becomes more flat. The science of it. The throat is connected to the vagus nerve, which carries emotional tone. When the throat is tight, vagal tones drop, and people can feel the numbness in half a second. See, this one was huge for me. I had such a numb voice that I couldn't yell at all in the past. I remember when I was young and I would try to yell, it was like this squeak that would come out of my voice. When I first began to meditate and work on this area, I got several sore throats. Now I have more feeling in my voice, but I could still have a greater range. It still tightens up at times. Even right now, it's a little tight. It's a little tighter than usual. And that's something I'm still doing the deeper work and the releasing on myself. But it's a never-ending job, but that's part of the beauty. It only gets better and better. Every time I find a new layer, my life gets better. The next one I want to talk about is the heart. Now, we all know the heart blocks emotions. You block sadness, fear, longing, even joy. You don't want to feel what's really happening inside you, and you especially don't want to feel what's happening inside of her. And because if you connect to her, you're going to start to feel her emotions. So this is why we close our heart. Now, the science behind this is the interesting part. That's why I got the notes out. The heart has over 40,000 neurons and the strongest electromagnetic field in the body. People literally entrain your heart's rhythm. So people literally entrain with you. This is something I talk about all the time. I talk about being in vibrational resonance, feeling somebody. Lately, I've been talking about how when I often meet women, as I'm letting them in, there's a feeling of letting them into my heart. And there's this warm fuzziness that causes them to want to lean in or blush just from saying, hi, how's your day going? The next one I want to talk about is the solar plexus. This is the confidence of the confidence for men. This is the one that often I see when you start speaking from your stomach more and you start letting women into your stomach, women start getting attracted. This is huge. I want you to think of the stomach as your personal power center. This is where she feels your instant decisiveness, your confidence, your ability to lead and take charge. So when you cut off your stomach, you cut off real power in your body. Now let's look at the science again. The gut contains the enteric nervous system with 500 million neurons. It produces 95% of your serotonin. So if you want a good night's sleep, this is definitely important. And it also, in German New Medicine, is where you have your indigestible morsel conflicts a lot of time. You know, where you really can't digest something. You're like, that's uncomfortable, I don't want to feel it, I don't want to digest it. Basically, I want you to think of this area as the chemistry of confidence, or your confidence chemistry. So the next one I want you to think about, the next one, of course, is the pelvis. In the chakra system, this would be the sacral chakra. And this is your turn on, this is your creativity, this is your spontaneity. Scientifically, if we look at this, when the pelvis shuts down, dopamine and testosterone levels drop and cortisol rises. You lose vitality at the hormonal level. And this is huge. I mean, when guys start to get into their pelvis, it changes everything. When they're approaching women, flirting with women, going on dates, when they're able to relate from this part of their body, it just is so much more fun for the ladies and for you. So basically, when all four of these centers are blocked, and this is not counting the prefrontal cortex or the grounding, when all four of these centers are blocked, you have no spark, no warmth, no turn on, no humanity. And that, when we shut all that off and pretend to be confident and try to fake it till we make it, that's why we're not building real confidence. We're literally hiding the best parts of ourselves. And if you build that armor thicker and thicker and thicker, instead of learning to surrender and open more over the years, all you're doing is making yourself worse. This is why I've had guys come to me after 10 years of approaching. They can approach anybody, but they can't feel. And oftentimes when I start getting them approaching, and they start to learn to feel and they start to drop into their body more, what happens? They start to get scared to approach again. And that's the exact direction we want them to go. Because we got to work through that fear they buried down. It wasn't that the fear wasn't there, it was just buried under all that armor. But here's the beauty of that. As they move into that fear, they actually become more connectable. Women begin to enjoy them more. If they start to own their fear from confidence and start to say, yeah, this scares me, but I'm showing up anyways, my lips shaking, because of the access to these parts of the body, women love them more. They relate to them more. Okay, so we went through the negative side. Let's go through the positive side. When the throat opens, you start speaking from your truth. You start speaking with realness, for lack of a better term. You start aligning vibration in your voice. You start speaking from truth. You start speaking from authenticity. You start speaking from feeling. Now, scientifically, what does that mean? Relaxing the throat increases the vagal tone. Your voice becomes more resonant and emotionally more honest. Women can begin to trust you. So many women are listening to your vocal tone to decide whether they can trust you or not, to decide whether you're somebody they can let in or not. And a lot of times it's the voice that's really throwing them off. You're hiding something. The heart. When the heart begins to open, you begin to feel more compassion, more joy, more warmth from the chest. It feels like a little warm fuzz here. One of the chemicals here as the heart opens is oxytocin when you connect to another human being. And it feels amazing to feel all that oxytocin. And for my scientific notes, the heart's electromagnetic field syncs with people around you. This is the resonance that I talk about all the time. And that creates instant connection. And I think in science they call it entrainment. I've seen there's some scientists that have studied the art of letting somebody in through gazing, and they call it entrainment. So let's move on to the belly of the stomach. See, when you begin to relax the belly, the muscles right here in the center of the belly, and then you begin to relax in these floating ribs here, and you allow your belly to open up, almost like getting a little fat, you feel this drop from energy from the heart down to the belly. Scientifically, a relaxed gut activates the social engagement system. Confidence literally becomes easier to feel. And you start to speak with more certainty, more confidence. You start to speak more definitively. It's quite interesting to hear the difference in a man when he begins to speak from the heart and the stomach together. He's speaking from the body. Less thought, more feeling down the center pillar of the body. Now the pelvis. When this area is open, you feel more turned on, you feel more creative, you feel more spontaneous, you're way more magnetic. And this is when life starts to become fun, not just with women, but with everything. You start to live a life of passion and turn on. The science behind this is an open pelvis boosts dopamine and testosterone, the chemistry of vitality and attraction. So this is basically the order it goes in. You start going down the front of the body, and as one center opens, the next center opens, the next center opens, and you start moving from lower in your body. When you start moving, walking, and talking from lower in your body, you look different to people. You look more magnetic, you feel magnetic, you have more balance, you're better at sports, you're better at everything. Your whole life starts to change. And this is some of the science behind it. And again, if you want me to do a video going deeper into the science behind all this, I could do that and just do a whole video on that. I think that would be fun. So with that said, real confidence is a man that feels everything. He's not afraid of his own emotions. He's not afraid of his sadness. He's not even afraid of his neediness. The difference is that he learns to feel all those emotions without making them mean something. Yeah, I feel needy today, and I can own it. Yeah, I feel my heart sadness in my heart today. I can own it. That also allows him to feel his joy, his love. It's like when you go to the movies. When you go to a movie, you go to see all these emotions. When you read a book, you go to see all these emotions. Women don't just want happiness. They want the whole range. They want authenticity, because authenticity is what attracts somebody to you more than anybody else. This is why I always say vulnerability is your superpower. Now, I'm not talking about neediness when I say that. When you are truly needy and attached, and you can't feel your authenticity, and you're just begging for somebody to save you, that is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the vulnerability where you own your emotions like a man. And that is powerful. That is true confidence. Now, I want to ask you a question. When you think about confidence, is walling off your emotions and pretending you don't have it, you're confident even when you're not, hiding everything, even though the women can see through it, more confident? Or is feeling everything and owning it and saying, yep, I'm feeling that and I can handle it, I'm a man. I'm like a lightning rod. All that emotion can run right through me, and I'm right here and I'm still present in spite of it. Which one actually sounds more confident to you? Give me a comment on that one. I want to hear what you have to say. That one's going to be interesting to respond to. So I wanted to talk about this becoming more confident thing, learning to speak from your body. And so I'm just going to give you like a 1 minute quick practice, maybe 2 minutes. I can't promise the 1 minute thing, but we're going to do my best. To activate more confidence through embodiment. And of course this stuff goes a lot deeper, but this is going to be a great little practice for you. So I want you to inhale, and just inhale down the front of the body. Take a deep breath in, relax, feel, and see if you can let your belly get fat. See if you can breathe all the way to the lower part of your belly, and let the front of your body relax. Now, as that energy goes down, I want you to then exhale and gently push it up your back. See if you can feel a little stream of energy going up your back. And if it goes all the way up your back, you might feel it go out the top of your head. For some of you, raising your eyes up a little bit, like you're looking at your forehead, can help. Down the front, up the back. Down the front, up the back. And you can do that about 3 times. And then I want you to actively relax each part of your body. As you breathe in, relax the throat, breathe up the back. As you breathe in again, relax the heart, feel it open, turn on like a light bulb, breathe up the back. As you breathe in again, relax the stomach, feel those floating ribs relax, feel the center of the stomach relax, and then breathe up the back. As you drop into your pelvis, around the hip area, ask your pelvis to relax, feel your pelvis relax, all the way down to the pelvic floor, and then send energy up your back again. And then I want you to take this moment to practice saying one authentic thing. It can be, I'm sad right now, or I need to tell my friend this, I've been holding it back, I haven't been radically honest with them, or I need to call this person and set a boundary. I want you to find that one thing and just say it out loud. Say it in the mirror, look at yourself, feel yourself say it. Feel what it's like to be authentic and real with yourself, to speak from this part of the body, and that's the real key. It's speaking from the core of the body. So this is a simple practice you can do, and how you can take it a step further is you can do this breath and then write down 10 people you need to have a communication with. Set a boundary, say no, say yes, ask a girl on a date, tell somebody something authentic, whether it's scary or not, whether it's like positive, like, oh, you're amazing, you're beautiful, or, you know, I've been a little mad at you. I'm going to do it later today. I got somebody in mind. I have to do it later today on a meeting. And I want you to feel that and practice it in the mirror, feeling the front of your body, the whole way down. And then when you feel ready, when you've done it enough times, go out and do it for real. Pick one person a day for like 7 days. Be authentic, be real, start practicing. The more you practice with the people you know or people in your life, it doesn't matter, you can start with the easy stuff on a scale of 1 to 10, start with 3s and 4s. But the more you practice this, the easier it's going to be with somebody you just met. Pretty soon you're going to walk up to that girl you just met on the street and you're going to find the most authentic thing coming out of your mouth. Not what you think she wants to hear, not how you think you should impress her, but something real, something that comes from the body. And you're going to notice a big difference as to how she hooks in, especially when you learn to let her in too. And maybe I'll do a deeper video on that too. If you want to get a deeper video on letting her in, definitely let me know in the comments. Hopefully you're enjoying this. I want to remind you to check out brianbajan.com and sign up for, maybe I'll walk backwards. Sign up for the newsletter if you want to learn more about the membership site we got coming. The membership site's going to be awesome. It's going to be filled with all kinds of amazing content and courses and information that's going to teach this stuff way more in depth, including the Revealing Mastery course, reporting details, goal setting, just all kinds of stuff to radically change your life. So with that said, remember, this is the confidence women respond to. Fake confidence shuts you down. Real confidence, authenticity, opens you up. It grows you. But it doesn't just get you good with women in communication. It doesn't get you good with relationships. It also gets you good with other people. Sales, life, business, yourself. Life becomes more fun, more beautiful, and you begin to live a life of adventures. A life filled with possibilities. So with that said, remember, only the courageous really live. See you in the next video.